your motivator, and I am your spiritual evolutionist. I'm here today. What day is it? Thrilling Thursday. Yeah, some people say Throwback Thursday, but I'm going to go Throw Forward Thursday because we are here, and it is such a blessing, and we give honor and praises for just being able to not only be present, but be in the presence of the Most High God. Yes. How many of you had a rough day? Maybe had a challenging day, maybe just a busy day. So it's an awesome opportunity to just sit back and begin to get a little word to re-energize you, to give you some reinforcement, to give you some pick me up and take you to another place in God and take you to another stage in God. So as we begin to do this, we begin to operate in our greatest version of ourselves. You hear me say that all the time because we are not at our greatest version until we discover who we are, until we recognize our nationality, until we honor our birthrights, until we honor our inheritance. Yes, all of that is in place, but unless you wake up and claim that which is yours, name it and claim it. You have to claim it. You have to declare and decree. But you can't declare and decree if you don't know what's yours. You have to allow yourself to be the greatest version of yourself as God has created you for greater. You are just not here for no appointed reason. And sometimes we've been learned to forget that. And so I'm here to remind you. I'm here to inspire you. I'm here to motivate you. I'm here to spiritually intervolute you into your highest version. I'm here to awaken you. I'm here to enlighten you and equip you. I have everything you need to go forth and begin to discover who you are in your greatest version of you. Yes, on this thrilling Take It to the Top Thursday. Yes, we are almost at the weekend. There's a chill in the air. It's a sign that a season is changing. There's a transition going on. So you have to be prepared to make the shift. Yes, we're always in a shift. If you're not in a shift, you're in a standstill. And if you're in a standstill, that means you're not growing, you're not moving, and you have become a monument instead of a movement. That's good in the neighborhood. So what we must do is continue to meditate, continue to pray, continue to commune, continue to communicate, and get our memory back. Remember, we're not here to learn. Anything you're learning is something that they created. And it's what I want to say, it's flesh inspired. But what you remember is spiritual inspired. And so once we recognize that, we begin to go ahead and rapture. And rapture doesn't necessarily mean you're coming out of your physical body as far as transitioning to the next dimension, but it means you are waking up. You are coming up to your potential and your purpose place of being, even in this third dimensional. This third dimensional body cannot rule over your fifth dimensional spirit and soul unless you give it permission to. So today, let's just take a deep breath for all of you, including myself, that's had a tiring day, but it doesn't stop here. I got a basketball game to go to for my son at 9 o'clock, so it continues. So we must be energized that we can go on. No, it's not a time to give up. It's not a time to give in. It's time to get up and go on. And so let's breathe in all the way from your root chakra, from the back of your spine, all the way to your crown chakra, where we are reaching the Most High Being in our imaginations. Are you ready? As you begin to release the breath, you begin to relax your muscles. You begin to relax. You come out of that tension mode. Let's try it again. Feel it all in here. If you've been really moving today, as you begin to breathe in, remember breathing in energizes you. So in the middle of your day, if you're feeling your energy dwindling, just do a hold it and watch the relaxation come over your face, come over your body, in your mind. It's an internal situation that occurs when we begin to breathe. Remember, the breath is your life. That is when your soul has become living. And so you must deep breathe. We only shallow breathe. But when you deep breathe, you begin to affect all the organs inside of your body. Every tissue, every bone, every cell, every organ, all of that. It is your natural immune system. So, God has created us to heal ourselves. We just don't take the necessary measures to do that. And so today we're going to talk about, we're still about the mind. We're going to be about the mind like forever. Because once you get the understanding of how your mind works and how powerful it is, that's what we're going to talk about. You have a powerful mind. And most of us don't know that because we've been learned fear, we've been learned doubt, selfishness, resentment. All of those things were learned. Those were not given to you at birth. You learned that because before you was in your mother's womb, God equipped you, gave you all your tools. Once you came through the womb, which is interpreted as the matrix, you begin to hear from the outside in instead of the inside out. And so that caused you to transition into another place and another space of fear, doubt, selfishness, resentment, ego, all of those things. And as we begin to know about our mind, there's one thing, and I've told you this before. Scientifically, it is stated that before you reach the age of 35 or right at 35, 95% of your mind has been influenced, controlled, or conditioned. That means you are operating on only 5% of creativity, which is not your makeup. Your makeup is you've been created by the creator to be creative. So if 95% of that has been conditioned and controlled, that means you're not operating at your highest version of yourself. You're operating under the governmental. Governing someone is govern your mental. That's the government. And so the government is not just what we see in Washington. The government is any of your outside influence that have caused you to deviate from your greatest version. This is not our home. I keep telling you, we are travelers. We are not dwellers here. And so if you begin to live your life mentally as a dweller, then you will mentally get caught up in what they learned you. But if you mentally see yourself as a traveler, you recognize this is not your home. And if this is not your home, then you don't get caught up in the things of this world because you recognize that you have a greater place and a greater space. And so we talked about the prodigal son. The world that he went out to was not his home. But when he came to himself, he recognized that he had to go back home. So the pandemic has awakened some of us to go back home. We went out, we spent the living that God had gave us, and we carelessly spent it. And we gave out and we gave out and we gave out. And to the point we were at our lowest frequency. And when you get your lowest frequency, it's usually an opportunity for you to wake up, to be enlightened, to come back home because you recognize you had it good before you left the house. So stay in the house, meaning with your internal being at your heart, recognizing that out of your heart flows the issues of life. Not in your heart, not going in, but out it flows. And so we have to go back to be heart-minded. And that's the thing. We're not just this mind, but we have a heart mind. And the heart mind, the organ was created before the brain, so it had to have a heart in order to be the potential part or the basic part of growing the rest of the body. So you must operate from there because that's where God is. That's where God lives. That's where truth is. That's where your power is. When we recognize that unconditional love is the foundation of all of our power, then we will be able to operate at a greater form. Now, power is just energy in a different frequency and a different vibration. And the other thing we must be mindful of is that God is the only true power. Anybody else power under that is a knockoff, or it's not the true authentic power. So unconditional love is the power that we operate. You have to mentally have that. Sometimes you're not going to physically feel unconditional power because it's not necessarily a feeling. And some of us are trying to feel that with some people, and we're not feeling it, as we say. And so then we either entangle ourselves in a relationship that is not offering us unconditional love, and then we cause ourselves to go through some things that we really shouldn't be going through. But every experience, remember, every experience, all things are working together for your good. So every experience that you go through, good, bad, or ugly, it should be growing you up. It should be strengthening you. The power of your mind. Remember, you cannot go back to your past. The only way you go back to your past is in a mind situation. You can't repeat it. Remember also that your brain changes on a consistent basis. So some of the things in your past that you think you're remembering, you've either left out some details or added on some, because your brain has already changed and it's already shifted to another realm. And so we don't remember physical things as we think we do when we're thinking about our past. Now that's good in the neighborhood, because some of us are stuck in the past because we're still trying to make it happen again, how it was, or we're still dwelling on what happened to us that wasn't so great for us. And so sometimes, most of the times, you've got to understand that the power of your mind, here to here. Now we're going to think here first. So you must be in tune with your heart. There are several times of the day that you just need to connect with your heart by putting your hand here and just stopping for a moment and just experience the vibrations of the beat. This is going to encourage you that the heart is still in motion, that God is still in love with you, that God is still the greatest power that was ever in this whole situation. And so what we have to do is, I want to encourage those of you that are experiencing either being diagnosed with COVID-19 or you have family members, friends, whatever. You must talk to them and tell them their mind has power. Their mind has power to speak to their situation, and they cannot get caught up in the fear. Once you're caught up in the fear, it affects the whole body, and then things begin to shut down. Because fear is supposed to be your emergency mode. Now, what happens is when you get in an emergency mode, everything shuts down. Because this was created to be a temporary mode. So when everything shuts down, when you're fearful, that's why fear's been created in this world to control you, because everything shuts down and you become a monument instead of a movement. But when you're operating in the spirit, you'll always be a movement instead of a monument. Yes, that's good in the neighborhood. So we must get this information to them to be mindful, pay attention, and begin to feed their mind something different. Because once you begin to feed your mind fear, I'm going to die, I'm not going to make it, I can't breathe, all of those things, oh, I've got this. When you start consuming all of that stuff in this mind is full of confusion, it's full of doubt, it's full of selfishness, resentment, all kind of negative vibrations. So when you do that, it causes yourself to go into a panic mode, which is an emergency mode. Then your brain tells your body, we're in an emergency, shut down. Look at that. What? Something to think about. And so, not just in that situation, but in every situation. So in order for you to begin to ignite the power that's in your mind, you have to stay mindful. What is that? Full of what's on your mind. And then you have to pay attention. What's that? Pay attention to what you're thinking. A lot of times we allow thoughts to just roll and roll and roll until they're going down the hill, and it's a snowball, and it's getting bigger and bigger, and it's being magnified bigger than the situation actually is. So the power of your mind can take you on a trip you don't want to go to, or it can bring you back from a trip that you started to go to. That mind of yours is important, and it has a deep connection and effect on what goes on in your life. And so we serve God with our mind. A lot of us think we serve God with our hands, but that is not what it is. We serve Him with our mind. And a double minded man is unstable in all his ways. A double minded woman, too. We're just talking about mankind. If you're unstable right now, you need to go and check with your mind to see what thoughts have been percolating, what thoughts have been coming to you, what thoughts have you had that you need to deal with that you haven't dealt with. A lot of times we just pray and say it'll go away, but God has given us power, and He's going to connect with you. He says the power of two, if any two, that means Him and you. You don't need no outside interference. If y'all connect and begin to think on the things that are honest and true and perfect, and then you can experience the healing from the inside out. So the power of your mind is very, very important. But if you're not paying attention to your mind, then there are times that your mind can take you out of pocket, and it's hard to return back from that. So I know that from experience in my own family. And so what we must do is we must get the word out. It is not, you are not crazy if you get counseling. You're crazy if you don't get counseling. Everybody needs someone that doesn't know them to begin to talk to them so that that person, now listen, a psychiatrist, I have a degree in psychology, a counselor, I'm a life coach. We cannot give you the answers. What we must do is lead you back home, give you tools to help you activate and remember who you are. And once you're activated and remember who you are, you can come back to that place of stability. You can come back to that place of knowing who you are and begin to operate. With the way things are in the world, if you don't have a mind of shift, I should talk about that maybe tomorrow. Have a mind of shift, you're going to get the other thing that I'm not going to say on this live. Shift or that. And so you have to be very, very attentive to your mind. Now, I do offer counseling. Let me get my commercial in. I do offer counseling, and you can't afford it. We can do it virtually, in person, over the phone, whatever's convenient for you. But it is time for all of us to get some type of counseling. Some of you think you don't need it. I used to think that too. But even a counselor needs a counselor. Because by the time I counsel all of you with all your situations, I need somebody to bring me out of that. Because those things begin to attach themselves to you. Even at your job, everybody has issues. And if you're in a break room or a cafeteria and you're all together and you're hearing people's situation, it attaches to you. Why? Because it's energy. Everything is energy. And so you absorb energy sometimes and you don't even know it. And so when you absorb that energy, then you wonder why you're so exhausted when you come home. Because if you're a customer service rep like I used to be, and all you hear all day are people challenges. People challenges. Why can't we do this? Can we do this? And you deal with that. Once you get home, you're exhausted. And so we must know that all of that is energy. And so the power of your mind is going to be up to you. It is not up to God to give you power. He's already done that. It is up to you to exercise the power that He's already given you. Now that's good in the neighborhood, because some of you are doing like this and you're waiting for God to drop it down. But He's already dropped it. He's already downloaded it into you. And so what you have to do is bring it back up. I will pour out my spirit on all flesh. So your spirit is inwardly. So all of that is going to pour out on this, and you're going to manifest the things that you will to manifest. So the power of your mind. I'm not talking about this every time I come on because there's nothing else to talk about. This is a main factor. This is a main source. This is going to get you through life and until you transition out of here to your next assignment. Now, sometimes we feel like that deja vu feeling, like we've been here before, and we have, because our soul is free and it manifests inside of a body. So sometimes our soul comes back to do something different. And maybe you haven't completed everything. So when we talk about deja vu, when we talk about people have an old soul, they they are above what a normal person would be. So sometimes you need to just see. You need to see some things in your mind. You can't physically see it, but you need to go in your inner mind, your intuition mind, your third mind, your third eye, or your first eye. And you need to begin to evaluate where you are mentally. We push back things so far, and then when everything piles up and mounts up, then we have an explosion. So you either go off on somebody, you either lose it and you have to be put in a mental institution, or you just are off base, totally off base. That's how powerful the mind is. And so we're all looking for physical muscle. Don't look so much for physical muscle. Look for the mind. When you are in pursuit of Mr. or Ms. Right, which I don't think there is a Mr. or Ms. Right, but if you're in pursuit of a partner, a wife, a husband, a boyfriend, a friend, period, you must, you must be very mindful of where their mind is. Because a lot of people are only going to show you what they want you to see. That's why you have to go to the inner eye so that you can feel their aura, their energy, so that you can detect things. God says He shows you trouble way off. You know what? He shows us that's trouble way off, but we refuse to see it. Or we think we can change people. We're only responsible for changing ourselves. We can give people tools to change, but it's up to them to have a free will as if they're going to accept that. So today, I want to reiterate that there is power in your mind. There's exousias and there's dunamis, dynamite power and executing power. You have the power to be, do, and have anything that you will to do. But you have to put your mind to it. You have to feel it from within. And you begin to send out a magnetic field. You know how magnets are? And you begin to attract. That's the power of attraction. It's an abracadabra moment. I love abracadabra. I create as I speak, or it is already done as I have spoken. That is an abracadabra moment. That is calling those things that are not as if they already were in your abracadabra moment. Yes, sir, and yes, ma'am. And so you must be very mindful of this and this. It's here first, and then you line it up with here, and then you manifest it out here. That's good in the neighborhood, y'all. I promise you, if you begin to practice that, you begin to make that a part of your life, then you will see your life make a 360-degree turnaround. Well, we have completed this session. Listen, I'm so excited about you knowing the power of your mind, of you coming to your greatest version of yourself. When you begin to do that, we can begin to pull together. And as we come back together, we come into a wholeness. And we can work together to make this work. I've been hearing that through the whole pandemic. We're going to work this together. We're going to do this together. But we're still separated. And a house that's separated is going to fall. That's within yourself, your personal house, your physical house, your work house, your church house, the White House, the outhouse, even the whole house. All of those houses. Everything has to come together. I'm just being silly. I'm sorry. Laughter is good like a medicine. And so as we begin to operate in the power of our mind, did you know mind power is more powerful than physical power? You can think your way out of anything, or you can think your way into anything. That's how powerful the mind is. So, let's just take a breath. That was a lot of information. You're probably going to need to replay this. Please share this. Please, please, please. Not for my edification, but for the edification of the people, that they may come to themselves, come back home, be enlightened, express the greatest version of themselves. Go ahead and go through this situation, because we're on the way to something big. I know it don't look good, smell good, taste good, may not even feel good, but I promise you, in the spirit realm, it's all good, because all of these things are working together for our good. And if you get that type of mind, then whatever happens, you will find the good in it and you will move forward. Okay? Yes. Well, in today's Michelleology Involution Meditation, you got to get the power of your mind, because you can do some things with that power. Listen, thank you, Haps TV, for this platform. Listen, download Haps TV. This is a free app. You can support this broadcast, other broadcasts, or create your own. Listen, it streams out to all your social medias, so you don't have to do this one time, and it expresses it to all of them. You just have to sign up, put in your social medias, and then begin to do your thing if you're deciding to do that, because all of us have a piece of the puzzle. So maybe it's your piece of the puzzle that we're missing. So if you go ahead and download Haps TV, then we can get that piece and we can move forward. Listen, I want to see you on Saturday. I will be in, what is it, a conference. They have like multiple speakers that are going to come on with their talents, their gifts, and they're going to express to you. It is $20. And you can contact me for tickets. It is going to be Saturday, I think, between the hours of 3 and 6, I believe. I still don't have the information in front of me. I forgot. But listen, if you are in the Atlanta area or any surrounding cities and counties, I want to see you there. I want to see you in my presence, and I want to be in your presence. I'm present right now, but I want to physically be in your presence so that I can share with you some more information, and it allows me to have personal contact to see um, who's been listening to the broadcast, who's been supporting me. I will have some books on hand, so if you haven't got your me, your mental equation, I will have some on hand, and you can invest in that. If you're not in the Atlanta area, you still can invest in that. If you would submit $17 to my Cash App, $ the motivator one, and inbox me your address, I will get it out to you. Thank you to all of those who've already ordered either on Amazon or you've requested one from me. I am grateful. Listen, I have just invested in you as you have invested in me. So, listen, I want to see you on Saturday. I promise. I said that yesterday or the day before. I will. But if you look on my Facebook page, I do have the flyer up in my story, and you'll be able to get all of the information, the location, the times, how do you pay the fee, all of that information. I'm looking forward to this. I have not been out to speak since the pandemic started. I've been doing it here, but in person, I haven't done it. So I'm excited about it. Please support. If you can't be there, I'll see if we can tape it, record it, and see if we can run it for your availability. But I really would like to see you in person. Well, on this thrilling Thursday, we're about to get up out of here. I got a basketball game to go to at 9 o'clock. My son is playing basketball. So I'm excited. I'm probably going to see you tomorrow, most likely, most definitely, with another word about the mind. Please, please, and more please, allow yourself to discover the greatest version of your mind. It is so powerful. Sometimes you don't even have to leave home if you use your mind. You can send messages across the waters through your mind. That's why sometimes people call you, say, I was just thinking about you. Power of your mind. I was just thinking about you, or I was just about to call you. You attract it. If you pay attention, what you put your intention on and you pay attention to is what you draw through your magnetic field from your mind to the atmosphere, which I told you is energy. Every time you tap into energy, it comes back. So, this is Michelle. I'm your motivator, your spiritual evolutionist on this thrilling Thursday, knowing about the power of your mind. Listen, this has been a good message for me. I told you, I just let y'all eavesdrop on the conversation that I'm having with myself or the conversation that I've had with the Spirit of God, and then it comes together and we can all grow from it. I may not say it like I hear it, but I meant it when I said it because I said it. Let me get out of here. All right, now. I will for you to have a great evening. Enjoy your family. Tell people you love them. Not only tell them, but show them you love them and begin to enjoy this life, regardless of what you're going through. Enjoy. Find a place of enjoyment. Listen, a merry heart does good like a medicine. So some of us just need to laugh. Some of us just need to look at something funny every day and just laugh till we cry. Go just find something to laugh at. Even if nothing is funny, find something to laugh at, okay? Well, may the love, joy, peace, power, and sound mindedness be your soul food for today. And remember, you've been created by the Creator to be creative. So start creating your creations today and stop duplicating. That's plagiarism. All right. Be blessed.